look at problem 16-13. It's a ratio analysis problem. Assuming a 360-day year, calculate what the average investment in inventory would be for a firm, given the following information in each case. All right, so let's take a look at A first. They tell us the firm has $600,000 of sales, a gross profit of 10%, and inventory turnover ratio. That's the inventory turnover ratio of 6. So if we jot in that information, the first thing we have to do is calculate cost of goods sold. And that's because the inventory turnover ratio uses cost of goods sold. Right? All right, now I've worked this ahead of time, so let me highlight and bring this to light, and I'll show you how this one was solved. Okay, I'll hit the F2 key here, and you can see, well, what am I doing? I'm taking what's in cell D21, sales, minus the gross profit rate times sales. Okay, so I'm taking 600,000 of sales, subtracting out the gross profit to calculate cost of goods sold. Why does that work? Because 1 minus the gross profit rate will give you cost of goods sold. So we're just solving for the unknown. When we do that, we get 540,000. Then we've got to calculate average inventory. Let me bring that to light and hit my F2 key. Well, what am I doing here? I'm taking D25, the cost of goods sold, and dividing it by the investment turnover ratio. And when I do that, I calculate an average inventory amount. Now, the reason that works is because inventory turnover is calculated with those other two variables. Okay, now I dropped the definition of inventory turnover on the screen. Okay, some people calculate it as sales divided by inventory, but the more technical answer is that inventory turnover is cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Well, if we have the inventory turnover ratio and we have cost of goods sold, we can use, simple algebra to solve for the unknown, and the unknown is average inventory in this case. So we click here, bring it to light, right? Now let me move this off. Bring this to light again. Oh, it disappeared on me. What did I do? Let me bring the color back in. Okay, now I've moved the definition off, and you can see what I did here is I took the value in D25, cost of goods sold, divided by inventory turnover, and that gives me the average inventory. Next, we'll tackle part B. Okay, B says the firm has a cost of goods sold figure of $480,000 and an average age of inventory of 40 days. All right, how do we calculate the investment in inventory? Well, we first can calculate inventory turnover. Now, inventory turnover is pretty straightforward. Let me bring this to light. Okay, if we take 360, the number of days in the year, and we divide it by the average age of inventory, we can calculate the inventory turnover. Well, now that I know that the inventory turnover is 9, we can calculate average inventory by taking cost of goods sold and dividing it by inventory turnover, right? And that, again, comes from our definition of inventory turnover that we used before. I slide that over for you. You see cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. So we are using that to calculate average inventory for part B. Okay, next we tackle part C. The firm has a cost of goods sold of $1.15 million. I've put that in here, right? Let me hit escape here. There's our $1.15 million. Inventory turnover of 5. Again, to calculate average inventory, just take the value of the cost of goods sold, that's in cell D21, divided by inventory turnover, and we have average inventory. Finally, we look at Part D. The firm has a sales figure of $25 million, so I put that in there. Gross profit of 14%, we see that there. Average inventory of 45 days. Okay, so let's calculate cost of goods sold. We already know how to do this from earlier, right? So what do? We take the 25 million of sales, okay, and then we subtract the gross, we take 1 minus the gross profit rate times the sales value. Okay, now at this point, I put sales at the end, right? I could have put sales at the first and is the first term, and then multiplied it times 1 minus the gross profit. Remember that sales minus cost of goods sold gives you gross profit. That's why we can take 1 minus the gross profit rate to come up with cost of goods sold. All right, then we have to figure out average inventory. We've done that before, right? We take 45 days. Well, we take 360 days, the number of days in the year, divided by average inventory. That gives us our inventory turnover. And then, of course, we just multiply the cost of goods sold times the inventory turnover. And lo and behold, we've got the correct answer to Part D. And that's this problem, everyone.